The Mons Venus story is insane. And I'm going to tell you right, a full disclosure, I have not been to the Mons Venus since Michelle was in law school. I've been to the Mons Venus strip club twice. The first time was the summer of 94, just before I got married to Michelle. We got married on June 26th of 1994. In early June, the morning crew from the old MJ and BJ morning show, they took me on a bachelor party night, and we went to Mons Venus. Then we walked across the street to the 2001, and that was the first time I was ever in a strip club, number one, and the first time I was ever at the Mons Venus. Then, when Michelle was in law school, going to Stetson, right over in Gulfport, that's when Bob Buckhorn, former city council, then the mayor of Tampa, Bob Buckhorn introduced that 6-foot rule where the customer could not be within 6 feet of the dancer, and that kind of blew the whole lap dance thing out of the water, and it was never really enforced, and I think technically it's still on the books, but it's just not enforced. So Michelle wanted to see, while she was in law school, what is the whole 6-foot rule, and she and a friend from law school as well, and her husband, we all went to the Mons Venus.
Just for investigative research purposes is what it sounds like.
Yes.
So we're walking into the Mons Venus because Michelle wanted to do research and see what is the 6-foot rule? What's going on with these lap dances and everything? So, and by the way, this was 1999 or 2000. When we're walking in, guess who was walking out? Remember Tom Rivers, the morning guy from QIK?
No.
Yeah. He was walking out. He was one of the nicest guys, by the way.
Tommy's a legend.
You know, hey, QIK morning guys, my history with those guys, between Dave McKay and Tom, both great guys.
Yeah.
Both really cool guys.
For sure.
So you're not going to believe what happened at Mons Venus. And the story just came out yesterday. Apparently, some maniac in a red devil mask tried to walk into the Mons Venus at 1:15 in the morning, early Sunday morning, with a gun, and authorities Tampa PD thinks that this guy was going to shoot up the place at 1:15 in the morning. This is absolutely insane. If you don't know about this, we potentially had a mass shooting at the Mons Venus averted because the door bouncer knew something was wrong, jumped into action, then 2 other bouncers helped hold the guy down on the ground. This dude had a gun in his hand. He was walking into the Mons Venus with a red devil mask on, and then he had all kinds of scary crap written on his arms. And I'll talk about this here in a second. So the security guard, his name is Manny Resto, and he used to be a professional wrestler. He's been working for 30 years as a security guard, and he was at the front door at Mons Venus. And here comes a guy with a red devil mask on, and he knew something was wrong. Resto is 54 years old. He thought somebody was playing a joke on him. The guy tries to get inside, and then he sees the guy with a gun in his hand. The guy with the gun and the red devil mask, Michael Rudman, 44 years old, shows up in a silver pickup truck roughly 1:15 early on Sunday morning, Saturday night into Sunday morning. Gets out of the truck, has his little devil mask on. He's got a gun in one hand, a flashlight in his other hand. And I mentioned that he had really spooky crap written on his arms.
Right.
On his arms, in some type of a marker, the words kill and Dark One, DARKKONE, on his arms, according to TPD in their press release.
Those might be indications of something.
Jeez, man. This dude was heading in to shoot up Mons Venus. There were 200 people in the club at 1:15 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
According to authorities.
That place is always packed.
It's Saturday night, Sunday morning. It's the night to be out. Of course it's going to be packed.
God.
MJ, is there any word on how many rounds he had on him? Did he have extra clips? You hear of these mass shootings.
The guy had knives and extra ammunition in the vehicle. Hold on. Let me give you the details here, because I put together all the facts from the Tampa police report and the press conference they held yesterday. So Resto immediately tries to stop the guy and wrestles him to the ground. Now, also, interestingly, we took a call when we mentioned this at about 6:30 this morning. We had a guy call in, and he said that he heard gunshots from across the street. This dude that called us this morning worked across the street. And I'm like, oh, so you work at the 2001 strip club? He says, no comment.
Right.
So I've got an audio bite from the phone call we took earlier this morning. So Resto, the bouncer, he starts to grab the guy and tries to take him to the ground. This guy's got a red devil mask on. It looks like, did he have knee pads on and shin guards? Look at him.
Yeah, he's got something.
It looks like he's got shin guards strapped onto his legs.
And he was ready for battle.
He's ready to fight.
Now, the perp in the red devil mask, they said he's like 330 pounds and like 6'3".
Jeez.
The guy's huge. The dude that tried to go in with the gun to Mons Venus was a mountain.
The security guards are heroes.
And the security guard is big himself. And they're trying to take the guy down. So the gun, he wrestles the gun out of the guy's, the gun's dropped. During the melee, the gun's dropped. Now, a gunshot went off. And I'll play the audio of the caller that called us earlier today. So Resto, the bouncer, is trying to wrestle this Rudman guy to the ground. And then a cashier at the front knew there was a problem, called for the other bouncers to rush. So 2 other bouncers rush and then hold the guy down. Now, if you see, it could have gotten dangerous.
So Resto goes straight for the gun. He doesn't tackle the guy. He doesn't punch the guy. He goes for the gun.
Resto grabs the gun. Then Resto, the bouncer, is holding the gun on the guy, but the guy is able to then take the gun back. Then the gun ends up on the ground, but it got scary because the bad guy almost got the gun back to use.
You know what's scary to think about? What if the guy hadn't had a red devil mask on? What if he just tried to stroll in like a normal customer?
Yeah. No, that is a very good point.
With a more concealed weapon, not like...
It was the red devil mask that alerted the bouncer at the door at Mons Venus that something's freaking wrong here. But also, and you'll hear this in the phone call, I believe, the caller said that they were warned by TPD to be on the lookout for anyone carrying a flashlight or a cell phone flashlight, aiming the light at the security cameras. And guess what? Exactly what the red devil mask guy did. This guy was, as he was walking to the front door of Mons Venus, he was holding a flashlight backward, aiming it right at the security camera to try to blind the security camera from seeing who he was with the light from the flashlight. I mean, this is an unbelievable story.
It's pretty smart, you know. It's better than the old shaving cream. Remember the old days?
I mean, that would have been a dead giveaway that he's going to do something suspicious, putting shaving cream on camera.
So Resto, the bouncer, picks up the gun. He ends up pointing it at Rudman, but then Rudman rushes back to try to grab the gun. The gun ends up on the ground. A shot was discharged. So a gunshot did go off, and it hit the front door. Luckily, it didn't hit anyone. So no one inside the club was injured. This is just insane. Now, the perp, the individual that's been arrested, is this Michael Rudman, and he's been arrested before. He had charges of in the past. He had, I guess, some battery charges, some domestic issues.
He's not a good guy.
There's a report that he has a history of domestic violence, mental health problems. He was previously Baker acted in Florida. Guys, this could have gone really, really bad. Yeah. The Tampa Bay area could have been on the national news for a mass shooting inside the Mons Venus that was clearly thwarted. And you were asking about whether he had additional ammo. According to TPD, at the press conference yesterday, Burkall, who's the acting chief of police after the Mary situation, he said that there were 9 knives in the truck, and they also found 2 fully loaded magazines in his pocket. So he had the handgun with, I would imagine, a fully loaded magazine, and he had 2 additional fully loaded magazines in his pocket so he could drop the mag, reload. So, 10, 12, 15-round mags, he could have gotten, maybe up to 45 shots off in that place in Mons Venus. All right, here's some of the audio that I want you to listen to here And again, I cannot believe we had a major, major situation averted by these bouncers and Resto, who initially tackled this guy. This is amazing. All right, here's the security guard. This is Manny Resto, the initial front door bouncer at Mons Venus.
I decided that he was not going to enter the club and hurt anybody.
Wow, you made the right call there, pal.
And I noticed the devil mask, and I was like, okay, it's not Halloween. Maybe it's some type of trick or a gag, you know.
Nope. All right, here's more Resto.
I wasn't going to let this happen. I was not going to let him win. He was not going to hurt nobody.
Good call. Heroic.
Everything, a lot of things are fuzzy because I got hit in the head quite a few times by the gun, and he also had a flashlight as well in the other hand.
All right, here's more.
I saw him raise his hand, and he had a gun.
And then this is a clip from Fox 13. They interviewed him after the presser.
I went for the gun. I was concentrating on the gun.
And that was the right thing to do. It got a little scary, though, because he did get the gun, and then Devil Mask, Maniac Man, rushed toward him and grabbed the gun back. And then the gun ends up on the ground, and there was a round discharged. Then here is one of the other security guards that rushed to assist Resto, who first made contact.
He had over 500 pounds on him, and he was still moving.
So you had two bouncers on top of him, then a third one arrives, and this guy is still trying to get up with 500 pounds on top of him. Here are a couple of clips. This is the interim Tampa police chief, Lee Burkaw, commenting yesterday at the presser.
First thing that came to my mind is what happened in Orlando at Pulse. And having these two here to take that heroic action, could they have prevented something like that? I definitely think so. And the officers at the scene actually said that he was so incoherent that he couldn't speak.
Insane. More of Burkaw.
There's no question in my mind that had it not been for the brave men you see standing next to me, that we could have been here discussing a mass shooting in the city of Tampa.
In Mons Venus, 1:15 in the morning on Sunday morning. And what's also incredible, how long it took for the story to get out. The story did not come to light until yesterday afternoon.
So all day Sunday, all day Monday, and then half the day yesterday.
Tuesday, yeah.
Wow.
Before the story came out. Absolutely incredible. We took a call again, and we've got phone callers that are calling in. If you want to wait, if you have anything to add to this, we have a dancer. We've got a dancer that was at Mons. All right, tell her I'll be right there. If you want to weigh in, any thoughts on this, any observations, 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047 gets you in on the MJ Morning Show. All right, tell Go-Go that it says Go-Go on the screen. So we'll talk to Go-Go the dancer in just a minute. But this is an audio bite. We had a caller when we talked about this at 6 o'clock this morning when we first came on, who was working across the street, and we think at the other strip club, the 2001. Listen to this from earlier today on the MJ Morning Show.
I work across the street. I was actually across the street when it all went happened. Everything goes down. The altercation happens out front. You hear a couple shots. There was definitely shots fired. I assume that everyone was okay. You'll hear it more from the police report, I assume. But they told us that it's a tactic now where people are using cell phone lights or flashlights to block the security cameras as they're walking into the entrance. And that's pretty much all the other info I got. That's all they would release to us. You know, they told us just to keep on the lookout for people with walking in, you know, with flashlights faced toward the rear, toward cameras. Things of that nature.
And the guy in the devil mask was pointing a flashlight right at the security camera at Mons Venus. Exactly what he just said. You can see it on the surveillance. Andrew, have we put the surveillance video up on our website? All right, if you want to see the altercation with the gun, everything, the guy getting tackled, it's all on video from the Mons Venus security camera, and it is on our website. If you go to mjmorningshow.com, that's mjmorningshow.com, and click on videos mentioned on the show. Hi, Go-Go in Tampa. Welcome to the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, I listen to you like every morning.
Thank you so much. Were you at Mons Venus at 1:15 on Sunday morning?
I was. I'm there every Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Oh my! So you're there every Friday and Saturday. Go-Go, what is going through your head knowing that this maniac almost got into the club and was probably going to open fire?
It was crazy, honestly. Like, we heard like a pop, and it sounded like one of those fake like popper guns.
Yep.
And everybody just kind of like ran and scattered and like hid, and like girls were like freaking out. And I wasn't freaking out at the time because I knew something didn't happen inside the club, but I just didn't realize the magnitude of it until like I saw like the video and everything like that. But like it was pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Everyone in that club, they said there were about 200 customers in the club, and this guy was headed in with a gun that was loaded and 2 additional magazines of ammo in his pocket. And, I mean, you got to be thrilled with what the first bouncer, what Manny Resto did to protect the customers and the employees inside.
Manny is so awesome. He's the one that, like, Manny and Dan, they walk us to our cars.
Aww.
Had Manny been walking a girl to the car, like he walks us to our cars, had he been away from the front door, things would have been completely different.
Oh my!
Right now.
So Manny's
God.
a badass.
Manny is a badass.
That is amazing. And I know that's the case. I've heard about this in the past. That a dancer leaving for the night needs assistance getting to their car, so they're not like harassed or followed into the parking lot by some creep. And if I think this will change procedure that.
Somebody always has to be at the door.
Exactly. That if a dancer has walked to their car in the parking lot, that a bouncer can never leave the front door. I'm guessing that's going to be a new policy from now on.
I'm hoping. I mean, we don't really want people down, but I think that that's probably going to come after this. But, yeah, I mean, I'm telling you right now, the guy pulled up in the truck. It was already running. He walked straight to the door. He knew what he was doing. He wanted to do that. Had Manny not been right where he was at, I mean, this would be a whole different story right now.
So go.
I might not be here.
Is there another security personnel inside the door next to the person working the front end?
We have 2 other security guards, and like one of them kind of hangs out at the door. But sometimes, there's 2 things going on in the club because there's so many people. It was shoulder to shoulder packed like Saturday night during that time.
Yep.
So, like, I mean, sometimes one's got to be in the dressing room with the girls dealing with something, and one's out on the floor, but not exactly right at the door. So, I mean, it's give or take, you know what I mean? But usually somebody's, like, at the door, but usually somebody's right outside the door as well.
Go, how old are you?
I don't want to say.
Okay, all right.
I'm older, but I look really young. Let's just say that.
I'm just amazed. We've got such a wide audience for us to be talking about this and to have an adult entertainer, to have a dancer that was inside Mons Venus Saturday night into Sunday morning at 1:15 when this happened, to be listening and to call us up and say, hey, MJ, I love you. I listen every morning, and I was in the club.
I listen every morning. I take my son to school, and, like, you guys are literally the best, and I love the music on this channel. So,
thank you.
Go. I appreciate you calling in. I'm glad you're safe, and the other customers. You said it was shoulder to shoulder. The club was packed when this guy was trying to walk in with the gun.
Yeah, shoulder to shoulder packed. And Friday was not that packed, but Saturday usually gets a little more lit. And it was wild. The guys had to leave out the dressing room, and they're not allowed back there usually. But all of the guys trampled in the dressing room and went out the back door.
Wow. Oh. Anyway, Go. Thank you for calling in. Thanks for listening, and say hi to your son for us. Okay.
Thank you. I will.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Incredible.
Go. That's a good stripper name.
Go right inside the club when this all went down. Let me grab David in St. Pete, and then we got to move on. I got some other things we got to get to. Roxanne, yes? It's like you're on the edge of your seat over here.
I'm just happy. I'm just amazed by, the people who call the show. It's awesome.
David in St. Pete, MJ Morning Show, you're up. Hi.
Hey, how you doing today, guys?
Doing well.
Good.
I used to work at a place called Daddy-O's a long time ago in Ocala, and we used to use a wand on people before they even came in. And a lot of people didn't like it, but, if you had any kind of weapon on you, we didn't allow you. You can go put it in your car or whatever.
So you would use like the Garrett metal detector wand? Woo, 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 woo.
Yeah.
That thing?
Yeah, I think that'd probably be the best thing. I mean, back when I was working there, man, was way back in, the early 90s. And I think today they should have that, just for the simple fact, because, if you ain't got nothing to hide, why would you want to be wanted? But why come in there and risk people's lives? I mean, I think they should do that.
I mean, there was no metal detector, nothing like that. I mean, just walking in, pay your cover charge, and there you go.
That might change as well. Hey, David, thanks for the call. What a crazy story. And the Tampa Bay area might have been on the national and worldwide news for a whole different thing on this early this week or on Sunday and Monday if there were a shooting. And it sounds like it got very close to some type of mass shooting in there. That is crazy.